All right, guys, and the car wash of coaches continues. In this town, I have my good man, Tommy Smith from Cedar Crest. How are you doing, sir?
Great, guys. Thanks for having
Good
me.
to see you, Tom.
Good to see you guys as well, man. Great.
Okay, I know we're here to talk about 2023 and the 24 season, which obviously big things expected in your neck of the woods. But I do want to go back to last year, now that you've had a chance to step back and really assess it. What do you make of last year and what that season was, and then knowing that it was going to eventually parlay into this season that we're approaching right now?
Yeah, last year's season was kind of up and down. We played a difficult schedule, lost some tough games to some tough teams, but I think throughout the entire season, we just continued to make growth and put a good run together down the stretch, and ended up finishing second in the league, second in the section behind Enfield, and then got into the playoffs, had a good win against Columbia, and led for all but 30 seconds in the semifinals to Manor Central, and they just made some plays down the stretch and beat us. And then we went on and played a good Wilson team in the first round of districts, and again, I think up about 12 points, maybe 8, 10, somewhere around there at the end of the third quarter, towards the end of the third quarter, and just couldn't finish it. So, throughout the season, it was up and down, but we did make some growth, and we took some strides, and and like you said, to propel us into this season.
What did change during that second half run that you guys had? Because I saw you at the first Wilson game, and I didn't know what was going to happen the rest of the way, to be quite honest. That was just an odd looking game, but then you guys found something down the stretch. So what did click? Because I'll be honest, seeing that Wilson game, I don't know if you guys would have been able to win it Columbia based if you would have had to play that be your next game. Because that hornet's nest that is and everything that came with that. What changed?
I think our kids grew up and they took that next step in their progression, and I think they really came together as a team, and they stopped trying to make the great plays and just let plays happen, and that was one thing that we talked about, because we're too talented. I'm like, guys, the plays will happen. You don't need to make the plays will come to you, and then you'll make them. And then our backs were at the wall, I think, too, and we had no other choice, and our kids really responded to that, and I think that was, those two things, I think they kind of took that next step as a team, and then also like, hey, this is it, man. If we don't get together now, we're not going to be in the postseason.
My eyes started to light up when you said you guys your backs were against the wall. What is it about Cedar Crest in general that's when you guys thrive? What is it? Is it like the only Lebanon school in Section 1? What is it? What gives you guys that feel? Because I love it so much.
Yeah, I don't know that I can put my finger on the exact reason why. The culture, I think, of the basketball program right now, we've just got some tough kids, and they play their best in the biggest moments. The cool thing now is we have some kids that when we were really good a number of years back were in the stands, and they want some of that now. They started to taste it a little bit last year, but they just responded. They just respond very, very well when their backs are at the wall, and it's a good trait to have. So
last thing, and then I'll let you jump in, Bruce. Your whole team is football guys, basically, by and large.
How good football season this year.
They did, which sort of leads into my next question here. How long does it take typically to get from football shape to basketball shape? Because there's a lot expected of you guys, and as you know, playing maybe 2 minutes continuously up and down is a lot different than 11 seconds at a time.
Yeah. So we are in the process of getting them into basketball shape. I will say they've done a really nice job of throughout the football seasons staying conditioned. Even though basketball, like you said, football, it totally different shapes.
Right.
But this senior group in particular, they really take care of their bodies. They enjoy working out. So we'll see when in our first scrimmage, we had a couple sessions at practice yesterday that didn't look too good. But it's going to take, and that was the other thing too. Last year we started and we had a tough schedule early. And our guys just weren't quite in the best basketball shape, and and then we were fighting our way through, down the stretch. So that you could also add that on to another reason why I think that we kind of made that good run at the end is we finally got in shape, in basketball shape. So
It sounds to me like, that you're still kind of hung up on last year, okay? And what I mean by hung up there is that unfulfilled expectations, okay? So how do you guard against that this year? Is there something that you can guard against on, not really finishing out the way that you would like?
yeah, you know what? We don't talk about too much. Every now and again, if a drill's not going well or something like that, I'll bring it up and just let them know that, hey, we haven't won anything yet. I don't know what you guys, the expectations are there for us this year. But as will take, a little bit. I got some competitors and it drives them a little bit. It drives them. They didn't like it at all, the way that we lost to Central in the semis. They didn't like the way we lost to,
you want to remember the pain that you felt and use it as a motivator tool, right?
And let it drive you a little bit, yeah. And these guys, they know, and I would say that they're using that as a little bit of motivation this year, and that will drive them throughout the season.
Good.
I don't want to say you guys are prohibited favorites, but the targets are obviously there on your guys' back. Is this? I imagine this is what you had in mind when you were playing these puppies. The baby Falcons, as I called them, a couple of years ago. Have they basically ascended to the level that you thought they would, and most of them coming into their senior year?
I do. Again, they were young, and we got a lot of minutes out of them. They were pretty talented, even as sophomores. And again, they've continued to make their strides. And not that we look past any season ever, but we definitely had the back of our minds with this talented group of seniors that we have, and the junior class that's behind them is also super talented. And the mix of those kids, so we kind of pinpointed this season to be what we felt could be another one of our special seasons.
You can go cliche answer on me, or you can give me as much gory details as you want, but what is it going to take from us talking here today to you potentially having that net around your neck at Manheim Township in February?
The big thing is, and this is probably cliche, but we need to stay in the moment. We can't look past anyone.
Mm-hmm.
As well as I do, Section 1's too darn good.
Yeah.
The night that you try and you're looking past someone, they're going to catch it.
Yeah.
So we need to stay in the moment. We need to take one game at a time and not look to that. And then I think that we have a good chance to get there if we stay in the moment, everyone stays healthy, and we continue to gel like we have early on so far this season.
I'm looking here at your schedule. It looks like you guys have a lot of roads and neutrals sort of in the middle of January. Is that?
January is going to be a tough month.
Yeah. How did that, obviously you can't control the league schedule, but do you sort of like what that presents? Because that's sort of at the bewitching hour of the season.
Yeah,
right there.
the nice thing is we got a lot at home early.
Right.
Hopefully that will catapult us into that. But was that exactly what I want? No. But it is what it is. Now, some of the road games, we're playing LBC, so it's in our backyard.
Oh, that's cool.
Sure. Playing at Lebanon, that's
That's sold out already.
Stone's throw away. Playing at Central in the LL Mid Penn.
Yep.
So it's not like we're going, but we do have some tough league games on the road throughout that time. So
how much does that put an emphasis on protecting the cage early on, given the way that the schedule sets up, so that you don't have to be like last year and play catch up at the very end?
Yeah, it's so important. The one thing that we'd like, again, a favorable schedule to start the season in terms of home and away.
Correct.
And we absolutely need to, that's always one of our major goals is to, like this guys.
Yeah, that's Aiden Schaump doing peace fingers or something, or
Fernandez wearing my jacket.
Full bomb in the interview here with the coach.
Yeah, so, that's always one of our first goals.
Yeah.
Win every home game. Because, traveling and winning on the road is actually so difficult. And, if you slip up at home, it's a tough road to toe then.
Right.
You got to get that one back on the road, and that's a tough one. So,
Well, high expectations for you guys this year. Listen, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it,
Yeah, always
Ryan.
appreciate you.
And we'll have more interviews on the way. Stick with us all day.